Courage is contagious, and we hope to see it spread like wildfire throughout our nation. Welcome to the Gold Report, where we inspire you to be 10% more courageous in your daily life. I'm so glad you're here. Please like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
This March, witness a gathering of the minds. The world's leading experts in medicine, science, and policy. They were correct about everything during our most fearful times. Hear what they have to say now, about today, and what's to come. AFLDS presents Freedom Summit. Reserve your spot and watch it live this coming March. Don't miss this day of valuable information and insight. Purchase your live stream access today at aflds.org/freedom.
Dr. Yusuf Saleeby is an integrative medical physician. He is an author of books as well as chapters in books on functional and holistic medicine. Dr. Saleeby is the medical director of 2 centers in South Carolina and founder of the Priority Health Academy. We're delighted to welcome Dr. Saleeby to the Gold Report. So welcome to the Gold Report, Dr. Saleeby. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Simone, for having me.
Thank you so much. So I was very interested in your background. I'm not sure that I knew that you had practiced emergency medicine for a long time because, of course, you know that I was practicing emergency medicine for a long time. And you summarily decided to leave that behind you, and would love to hear a little bit more about that. Like if there was a specific incident that prompted you, if it was just kind of the frustration over watching it in general, just whatever led you to make that decision.
Yeah. So while I was in training in medical school, I was pretty hell-bent and determined to pursue a life in medicine of research. So while a medical student, I was doing molecular biology research in a reproductive endocrinology lab on campus. And then my goal was to do internal medicine and then do a fellowship in allergy immunology to just do research. But once I hit the clinical wards, once I started touching patients and examining and talking to patients, I'm like, oh, I can't get stuck in a basement somewhere in a laboratory. So I said, no, I'm going to do clinical medicine. And I started my career in internal medicine. And in my first year, I determined that wasn't quite for me. It was the advent of dealing with HIV/AIDS patients, and it was very depressing, and nephrology was very depressing for me, oncology. And when I did a rotation in the emergency department, it was like, oh, fascinating. I was just in love with the fast pace, think on your feet. So I changed gears and I went into emergency medicine. Fast forward a few years later, after practicing for a couple of years, we're great at, as you know, treating lacerations, gunshot wounds, dislocated shoulders, broken bones, that kind of thing. But where I was dismayed was the chronicity of chronic care and how these people kept rolling in like a revolving door. Every week I'd see the same patients over and over again for complications of their diabetes or their hypertension, congestive heart failure, renal issues. And I thought, there's got to be something better. So this was in the late 1990s, like 98. I started taking on a lot of conferences and educating myself. I developed my own curriculum because at the time, I think Dr. Andrew Weil at the University of Arizona had a fellowship in holistic medicine, but I couldn't stop what I was doing and go out there. So I developed a curriculum. And as an ER doctor, I could work 3 or 4 shifts in a row and then have the rest of the week to myself to travel. So, compiled all that and then eventually decided it was difficult to wear 2 hats at one time. I couldn't wear my ER hat and my holistic medicine hat at the same time. There was too many conflicts. So I retired from emergency medicine in 2012, and I'm doing completely 100% functional holistic medicine in a DPC model, in a cash for care type model, away from insurance.
That is fantastic. So prior to COVID, I didn't really think about leaving the emergency department. But in looking back, I should have left the emergency department. I so disagreed with the protocol and the cookie cutter. And honestly, just the whole concept of managing chronic conditions is just anathema. I mean, it's not why you choose emergency medicine, and it's not actually most of our training in emergency medicine. So we can do it, but it's not great, and it's not really why we want to be there.
Mhm.
And it is very unsatisfying. So I am impressed that you really made that leap. Okay, I didn't have that insight. I got, I guess, more pushed out than if I hadn't been pushed out. I wonder if I'd still be doing it now. It's kind of crazy.
You're listening to The Gold Report with Dr. Simone Gold. To watch this week's full episode of The Gold Report, please visit www.thegoldreport.com.